We are back with our sleepy dragon puppet this week. We are going to name him in today's episode, but also we're going to figure out how to make a body. Now I've got this one here, which is a pattern I came up with myself. And if you're interested in learning how to make a body pattern of your own, fear not, because that is exactly what I'm going to be showing you today. Let's get started. I feel like a news reader, but today on the agenda we are going to be making a body pattern from scratch. But first, you've had your time, the votes are closed. As we reveal what his name is going to be. What name did you decide for our dragon puppet here? First of all, I've got some honourable mentions. I really liked Lillian Grace's comment of Beatty, and I nearly picked it, but I think it's a bit too similar to Betsy, so I had to say no. Another strong suggestion was from Holly Jemima, Spicy Margarita for the full name, but Spicy Marg for short, which I just thought was magical. But the winner that takes the cake is Digital Honey's suggestion of Eugene, brackets, he only wishes he could stay awake longer. Congratulations to you, Digital Honey, you win nothing, but you do get to name our new puppet, and I'm really glad that he's got this name, and I do think it's actually adorable. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to Eugene, who we have now christened today. We shall now go ahead into making our body pattern, but before we do, the usual disclaimer: I use a mixture of very professional and incredibly unprofessional methods when making anything, always. If you see something here today that works for you, that's fantastic, but if you see something that you just can't stand, keep it to yourself and understand that that is all right. This is just how I make mine. So with that said, we shall begin. So I've got some paper here in front of me, and I think the most important thing when you're making a pattern yourself, there's a couple of notes here. The first one is you want to know what body structure you want your puppet to have. You want to know if you want them to have a little bit of a belly, if you want them to have like a weird shape, if they're sort of an animal or alien type character that does not fit the normal standards of society and needs a body shape completely unique to them. Have a little think in your mind about what your character is wanting and needing. And once you've done that, we need to kind of understand, or begin to understand, if we are starting to make patterns ourselves, how 2D shapes transform into 3D objects, if that makes any sense. So first of all, what I'm going to do is, I knew with Eugene here that I wanted him to have a tiny little podge, a little nice bit of belly. You can see how I've got this roundness here at the side, and the way I've done that is with an incision all the way down. But what does that look like when it's naked? Well, I'll show you. I'm going to just begin by rattling off some shapes. Now, if I wanted the bog standard body shape, this is what I'd do. So I would do a little neckline here, the shoulders, of course, this is a rough rendition, don't judge this one. So the shoulders, and then sort of like an angled torso type thing, and that would be a normal bog standard puppet shape. You could also give it hips and bring it inward. But if you wanted to have something that's a bit more curvy, what I would then suggest is that you do the same neckline, make sure that the neckline's big enough to fit a hand through, shoulders, and then you kind of bring it in a little bit before blasting out. And you can see how we've given it a really nice little hip line here, and I'm going to curve it all the way around, and in the middle, because I want it to be a 3D shape when we're finished, I'm just going to add sort of a cut in the shape like so, like this, and then from the other side we're kind of going to replicate what we've done, and that is what I do for a more curvier body shape, because you can see if you had two of these shapes and stuck them together, it's kind of like a flatter rectangle that's very similar to sort of Dr. Cecil's body shape. But if you wanted sort of something with curves, you'd implement the curves on the side and then give the object a chance to become 3D. And the way that we do that is with an incision in the center to then join them up. So with that in mind, I have come up with this. If you struggle after this is done with making a pattern of your own and you're desperate for this pattern here, I'm going to do my best to make a PDF version of it and put it on my Etsy in time for when this session comes out, if you are really struggling. But it is quite simple and we should be able to get through it together, so don't feel like you have to do anything. I will put a link in the description for you to peruse. But as I said, I've kind of come up with this. You can see that I started by drawing sort of a smaller shape, and then over it I kind of just just refined it a little bit and made it a little bit bigger. So you've got these hip lines where it kind of goes in and then it comes out. And you can see now, because we've got the paper and it's a bit more sturdy for us to have a look at, when I bend that in and imagine that to be connected, it suddenly gives us this round pronounced belly, and that is how you kind of develop the roundness in the 3D space. So if you think about a 2D shape laying flat, what do you need to do to make it sit as the 3D shape you always dreamed of it to be? So that's what I came up with here, and this is the pattern that we're going to use. As you make your pattern and you figure out what shape you want, it's good to have symmetry unless your character demands asymmetry, in which case don't listen to me. But if you do want a bit of symmetrical, just fold your pattern in half and cut around it as you go to ensure that it is as symmetrical as possible. If you're making something yourself, it can always be a little bit wonky, especially if I'm doing it. So I do just like to fold it in half and really go over those lines to make sure that my puppet pattern is as symmetrical as it can be given the circumstances, which is me. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is cut this out twice, flipped, in the same foam that we used for his head. About 0.5 inches thick the foam we need to be. So I'm going to use the same foam for his head for his body. So I've cut out from my expansive collection of foam 2 shapes, the same shape flipped, one front, one back, and we're now going to connect them together. Now I should say that this is where I get incredibly unconventional. If you haven't been with me before, instead of using big bad boy toxic glues that require a lot of ventilation and are quite expensive, I like to use fabric glue to put my puppets together, and then once that's dried a little bit and connected it slightly, I like to stitch them up. It helps my peace of mind, it makes me know that they're safe and secure, and it's just a bit cheaper. Fancy glues and cements and the contact adhesives, if they're a bit too expensive or you're just a bit freaked out by them, I personally think that fabric glue or just normal glue and then stitched together is a really good cheap alternative to doing what you're doing, and you get some excellent results. There is absolutely no need to use adhesive if you don't want to. Always there will be a workaround, and that is what I've developed here. And I've got this high-tack fabric glue. It's fine, other glues are available, but it doesn't really need to be super strong because I am going to sew up afterwards. It's just to keep it connected in the meantime. I'm just going to show you a little example of how I connect it together. So I do the following. I get a little bit of glue on something I don't care about. In this situation, it is a pencil. And I'm going to use the pencil because I've lost that glue stick that I found, which was really amazing. I'm going to use the pencil to just glide the glue along the alcove just to help it stay together as it decides to dry. I'm going to use some pins that I also don't care about because I've ruined them with this method. I'm going to stick my pins into my foam just to encourage that to stay together because we're not using those fancy scary glues. So now I've glued and stabbed this together, I'm going to let this rest while I do it to the other one. I would start at the bottom as well just to make sure that you've got an even distance between both sides. So we've got our 2 pieces here. They have been stabbed and stitched on both bits now, and we're going to attach them on the sides. The middle of the waist area down the hip, I'm going to put glue, but I'm going to leave a gap here between the shoulder and the waist because I want to be able to fit an arm in it in the future. If your character's armless, then by all means sew away and stitch it up. But if you do have arms, you want to leave a nice considerable gap, and you can see kind of where the shape curves a little bit, and I'm just going to connect them from there. So I'm pressing that together and I'm going to move up, and as I move up I'm just going to continue to press these 2 pieces together and pin as I go. So press and pin. Betsy's hair is everywhere. We've got something like this that goes up the hips into the waist, and I'm going to leave a big gap, and I'm now going to move on to his shoulders at the top here, and that is the shoulder connected. Are you with me so far? I hope you are, because here we have our connected piece. Now I'm going to let this little Frankenstein contraption dry for a good few hours at least. So with this one here, I made it just to double check that my pattern worked, and I'm glad to say that it does. And I've sewn around all the sides here, and I've left a little gap for the arm, done the shoulder, and that is what we've done so far. But what I've got left to do is this front little bit here, and I just thought I'd show you how I stitch these pieces together with this tiny little example. It totally does not matter what colour thread you use, it's not going to be seen, but if you do want to use something fun, go for it. I've used this really fun pink colour, and as I go I'm just taking the pins out, that were there to dry, you might find that some of the pins might be a little bit hard to move, and that is because we've glued them in there. So just give them a yank and they'll come out eventually. But all I'm doing is going in at one side, through the other side, bringing that needle through, and rinse and repeating. I don't have to go all the way through the foam if I don't want to, though I will occasionally, just to add some strength. But we're just doing a little stitch in and out, in and out. I'm running into the pins that we put in, so I'm just gonna press on the line of the pin. Be careful not to press on the bottom of it. Press on the line and it should pop it out quite easily. Some of them might be a little bit stuck, but I just like to push the foam away and pop it out. Easily removable, just like so. And you can see how there's a little bit of an opening, but it is mostly secure, but that's okay because we're now going to go back in with our needle and make sure that all stays together. And then I can put his little head on and we can have a little look in our mind's eye of what he's going to look like. This is what Eugene looks like so far, and you can kind of imagine what we're going for here. So we've got a lovely little belly, not crazy, but we've got a lovely little belly. You could make it much crazier if you wanted to, by all means. And then we've got his little head as well. Next week, we're going to be looking at the skin. We're going to start skinning our dragon and giving him some colour. And also, I'm going to tell you how to do a mouth plate so that he's easily operatable. So that is all in store for next week, but I hope you enjoyed this week. I hope you found the ability to make body patterns of your own if that is something you're interested in. I am going to do my damnedest to get this online for you as well, but if I can't, just know that it is really easy and we're going to be okay together. Just draw out the shape of your dreams, cut out 2 of them, sew them together, and you'll have yourself a body. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it and you found it relaxing in any way, then please subscribe and ring that bell so that you can be told when we next upload another session. Thank you so much again, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you to Eugene. Thank you to Eugene.